A man has died at the hands of a bulldozer as police say he tried to get away from them. Police say Pennsylvania Game Commission maintenance workers spotted two men who they deemed suspicious, so the workers called police. Authorities brought a man into custody. They say the other took off, and that's when state police brought in air support.
When the helicopter got up here, they saw the one guy that ran, and they had eyes on him as he was running through this thick underbrush.
During a pursuit that lasted hours, Game Commission workers helped state police using their bulldozer to open a trail. Then, around 1:30, authorities say the bulldozer operator and the trooper riding with him made a grisly discovery.
So as they're blazing this trail through the brush, the trooper tells the operator to stop. And they look behind the bulldozer, and then they saw the male that they were looking for was laying on the ground behind the bulldozer as they had already gone over that area.
The man was declared dead. Police say they discovered a marijuana growing operation in the area, but they have not connected that with either of the men at this point. Police say the bulldozer operator and the trooper on board had no idea what happened.
I'm telling you, that is so thick up there. There's no way that you could, there's no way that you could see somebody laying in there.
Who cares? Wow. So, you know, I just made a video about Rainbow Farm in Michigan. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. And, you know, we're talking like 17 years ago. I thought we learned from that lesson that marijuana is not worth it to kill people over. It is not worth it to pursue somebody with all the mighty force of the state police, the local police, commandeering bulldozers from fucking brush clearing crews, helicopters flying overhead, coordinating your chasing this poor guy, 51-year-old guy through the thick. And as you heard the state police officer reveal that they were blazing a trail. What does that even mean? Just driving through there all crazy as fast as you can on a bulldozer? I mean, it doesn't sound very good for the cops. But as usual, they're the cops, so it doesn't fucking matter if it sounds good for them or not. All they got to do is have two of them say it happened the way they say it happened, and that's the end of the story. Nobody can challenge it. Nobody's going to win if they do. It's called the thin blue line, and it's fucking ridiculous that we have this bullshit tyranny and oppression. This is tyranny. This is what tyranny is. Tyranny's like, they pass medical marijuana in Pennsylvania, but you can't grow it or smoke it. That's tyranny. That's ridiculous. They pass medical marijuana, you can't grow it, and if we catch you growing it, we're going to run you over with a bulldozer. That's where we're at right now. Right fucking now. We're not 17 years ago when the FBI shoots you for defying, you know, you're growing weed on your farm. Well, we're going to shoot you. Now we're just going to run you over with a bulldozer. This is the Tiananmen Square of marijuana prohibition right here, dude. Period. This is not acceptable. This level of oppressive tyranny is just gotta stop. I don't know how else to express this, man. And by the way, when the cops finally rolled up on this situation, they were all, you know, like, oh shit. The cops, and it was him and one other guy. Now the other guy surrendered, and he has since been charged with the manufacturing and distribution of marijuana. I say, first of all, drop that fucking charge. Why can't we do that in America? Like in Georgia, where they took the kid because they smoked weed with them for the seizures. They just took the kid. And then the kid had a seizure. Oh, damn. We didn't think that the marijuana worked. Or maybe you were lying about the seizures all along. No. Well, they didn't get, it took a while for them to give the kid back, and they still have charges on the parents, and they're still telling them that you're only using the medicine we approve. That's tyranny. That's oppression. That's not right. That's not freedom. That's not liberty. Whereas in the UK, when that happened, they're like, you know what? We're going to make an exception and let you use this medical marijuana. Why can't we do that here? Because they don't want to admit they're wrong. These cops don't want to act like, you know, once this guy got away, they're like, oh, we're not giving up until we got him. And you know how it is when cops are pissed off and they have to chase someone all day? They always kill them in the end. Am I wrong here? Is someone going to defend the cops on this one? Because please tell me what you think, if you want to, because I don't think you're going to have any grounds to stand on here. And now the guy, we got some quotes here I want to check into before I check out of this nightmare of a story. So here we have Pittsburgh Normal. Patrick Nightingale says, we simply cannot understand how a man is dead over an investigation involving 10 cannabis plants. 10. This is over 10 plants. A 51-year-old man trying to grow 10 plants. And this guy's a former Allegheny County prosecutor, Patrick Nightingale is, by the way. And he's the director of NORML's Pittsburgh chapter. Quote, the whole investigation was ridiculous. I've seen law enforcement take down major heroin traffickers that haven't engaged in this level of aggression. True, I'm not out there trying to like compare enforcement tactics, but I will agree that holy shit, they sure go after weed like there's something really, really extra dangerous and pressing about the issue going on. It's just fucking weed, man. Come on. What are those plants gonna do? I don't want to hear any of these excuses about how you couldn't see or it was thick, there was too many, it's too brushed, we couldn't see. Bullshit. If you got a helicopter flying overhead and he's telling you what's going on, I'm pretty sure you guys are lying. You knew there was a good chance, at the very least, that you were going to run this guy over. And that's what cops are. There's no good way to end a chase when the cops are chasing you. They always want to inflict bodily harm or kill you when they catch you. That's why people, once they start going, they don't want to stop. They've seen what cops do when they catch you. What is so hard about asking the guy you had in custody what his buddy's name is? And now this is also this is this is still Nightingale. What is so hard about running the plates of the vehicle that drew their attention to the area? So that's another thing, is the reason the people that were clearing the brush out seen a suspicious car in the area, and I don't know if they're the ones that discovered marijuana plants, but they called the cops on the suspicious car. So when the cops got there, and the guy that ran, who is Gregory Longenecker, he ran. His buddies stayed there. His buddy's name is David Light, and he's 55 years old. They could have just asked him. Maybe the car was Longenecker's. And if it wasn't, they could have just been like, well, who's your buddy? I mean, this is just standard investigation shit. Like, oh, okay, that guy ran. That's cool. We'll get him later. We'll add eluding and evading to obstructing justice or whatever else you put on for somebody that runs. It ain't like you didn't know who he was. So anyway, they did charge David Light. Light's attorney, who has previously represented Longenecker, did not immediately return a phone message. It wasn't clear whether Longenecker's family has hired a lawyer. Jeff Reedy, executive director of Lehigh Valley chapter of NORML, said the marijuana plants had a street value of under $5,000. Quote, I doubt they were even planning to sell this on the street. If you're a consumer of marijuana, 10 plants is really nothing. 10 plants isn't even going to get you through the year. And also, it's not a very commercially viable crop. It isn't like you're going to get rich selling outdoor fucking swag to anybody, even in a black market situation or a medical marijuana state that sucks like Pennsylvania. So there was more quotes from NORML. We had a quote from the actual director of NORML. It was in a different article.
King Spring man is facing drug charges following a bizarre search in Penn Township. The search uncovered a marijuana growing operation, and it ended with another man being run over by that bulldozer. Good evening once again. I'm Rob Vaughn.
I'm Wendy Davis. Authorities have identified the two men seen near marijuana plants in Penn Township, and an autopsy has been performed on the man who was run over by a bulldozer.
We first told you about this last night as it was all unfolding.
Now, another thing I heard was that the cops lied and said that he had a heart attack. He died of a heart attack before he got ran over. That's just a lie. All right? Come on. What else is there? I swear.
King Spring man is facing drug.
There was a There was a quote from NORML I wanted to pull, but it was in a different article that I seen earlier, and I'm not gonna find it. Well, here's NORML. NORML put out a statement. That was the first thing I read today. Is NORML wants to know what the hell is going on. Here it is. Okay, so this is the actual executive director, Eric Altieri. Quote, this awful event could have and should have been prevented. Quote, this tragedy is a direct result of our nation's draconic and failed criminalization of marijuana. Not only was the use of resources in this matter excessive and tactics highly questionable, but more importantly, a man lost his life over the act of growing a plant that is now legally regulated in a majority of U.S. states. No matter what your opinion on marijuana legalization, the penalty for growing cannabis should never be an extrajudicial death sentence. So Lehigh Valley NORML guy, Jeff Reedy, again, as an activist and cannabis lobbyist in Pennsylvania, I always use decorum and process to my advantage. There would seem to have been a total lack of both by law enforcement this past Monday outside Burnville. By all accounts, the death of an illicit marijuana grower being chased by a state bulldozer under the direction of Pennsylvania state troopers was an unnecessary and reckless use of resources. These horrible events only fuel the need for marijuana reform, including the right for personal use and home cultivation in our state and across this country. Endless pursuit at all costs, leading to the death of a suspect over a few marijuana plants is excessive to say the least. To say the least. This is just ridiculous. And it is true that if this guy was caught and arrested and prosecuted and convicted, Pennsylvania's sentencing guidelines would have only provided for a sentence of probation. So I really can't express how just terrible this is and how bad this makes me feel to know that this shit is still happening. I'm just out there looking for normalization, you know, and part of normalization isn't just so society doesn't scoff at the stoners, and you know, a big part of this normalization is police not treating weed like it's fucking the worst thing in the universe. I don't understand this shit. There is no other thing, you know. This guy could have been caught, you know, fucking doing something really crazy and ran, and they would have probably gave up on him after a minute. not several hours later, oops, we ran over him with a bulldozer. This is just insane, guys. I can't believe it. If you got any way to defend the cops on this one, please let me know, because I'm trying to find any way that I can feel some kind of sympathy towards their cause, but I just can't. I just think that the drug war in general has empowered police to be this completely unconstitutional thug force of bullies that treats people that smoke weed like they're not even Americans, like they're pieces of shit garbage people. And I think that's fucked up. This is the worst thing about the drug war. Time after time after time, when you see an unarmed black man getting shot, they blame marijuana for it. And it doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't. Oh, I smelled weed, triggered me, I had to shoot him. Huh? Or later on down the line, when they're trying to get their buddy, the cop, who just shot the unarmed black man, they're trying to get him to not get fired or go to jail or get charged or anything. So they bring up the guy's marijuana use. Oh, this guy smoked weed. Look at these pictures he posted on Facebook with a blunt. Does that mean you could kill him? Does that justify that you killed him? Don't act like I'm ignoring that or forgetting about that. That's a huge part of the drug war. And it's always weed. Oh, yeah, it was weed. They always say something about weed. And that's supposed to make everybody fucking think it's okay that cops are killing people in the name of the drug war.